And today we're going to be talking about generating sales using government grants. We've talked about different government programs to generate sales. This is similar to what we talked about with tax credits, and it would be a good call to review if you want to explore something along these lines. Now, to get started, this particular strategy will make sense more towards the end, but we'll talk about how to execute the strategy. To start out, we're going to go to grants.gov. And what that's going to do, at the top of the page, just click on Search Grants. It's pretty easy to locate at that top menu. And then what you'll see on the page are all of the latest grants. What's great about this is these grants come out on a daily basis. There are several dozen that will come out every single day. So this isn't just like an annual thing that the government releases. There's stuff happening every single day. And this is what makes this campaign so successful, is the fact that you can engage with clients and provide relevant information all the time. And so that's one of the most important elements in any sales campaign, is something that's changed within the last 24 hours. When you can share that with your prospects, it creates a sense of urgency and creates a much, much higher response rate. On the left-hand side of the page, there's a lot of different filters, which is pretty easy to work with. The main filters that you'll probably want to leverage here are the filters that allow you to segment based off of the industry. Because when you focus on specific verticals, it'll certainly lower your customer acquisition costs. So once you kind of look at a few of these grants, what you're going to do is you're going to go inside of the grant and look at all the different details. Here, what you're going to find are where in the top section where it says eligible applicants, these are the prospects that you're going to be engaging with to share this information for. So you can take any of those organizations and then plug them into ensable.com/data using the business filters, and that would allow you to find any local companies or any companies across the country that fit that criteria. You can layer on other variables such as location, which is also one of the most, in addition to timing, is one of the more valuable ways to help reduce customer acquisition costs by reducing proximity to your prospects. Next, this is where a lot of the opportunities will come from. At the bottom of the page, you'll see a description. So this is basically the outline of what what they're trying to accomplish with this grant. And because this is coming from the government, there's a significant information gap. And this is where you're going to find the most opportunity, because although this is helpful, there's a lot of information that's lacking here. And so what you're going to do is you're actually going to recycle this content and post this information on your site. But rather than just posting raw data of what they're actually providing you here, you can add insights and helpful tidbits to help interpret and help understand what this grant is for, how to take advantage of it, how to apply, how the process works, what the chances of winning the grant are. But by providing all these additional insights, you actually provide value to your prospects. Now, my recommendation is to create an actual subdomain for your website. What this does is it allows you to basically take your entire website, but cater it to a specific vertical. And the reason why we do this is because when you do so, when you talk to someone at their level, at a very specific level, it has a significant impact on conversion rates. And so if you're catering to the health space, which is what a lot of these grants are designed for, it would make sense to create a subdomain for your website and still be able to talk to them without actually having to create a whole new website. So the subdomain would look like your original website, but the verbiage could be modified to reflect that specific industry. So you can have articles, you can have case studies and different content, specifically like grants, that would help drive traffic to your site. Now, because this is a specific site and you're providing ongoing content, it's always important to remember to create a subscription link, because what that does is it allows you to stay in front of your clients on a regular basis, because it's highly likely that they're not ready to buy in that very moment. But if you can stay in front of them via sideways sales letter, which we've talked about on a previous call, you can create a lot of great opportunities to find that perfect moment when they're ready to purchase from you. So what we're going to do is, once we have that list back of all the different companies that would be potentially interested in applying for this grant, and we've created an article on our site that outlines the grant and provides information about the grant, we can then start sending out emails to the different companies that are on the list that we've created. ensemble.com/data. The email would look something like this. I want to share with you a new grant that came out this morning, and then you kind of highlight the grant and then say, I don't know if you have the bandwidth to take on a project like this, but thought you should know about it. Here are some of the details, and then you link into your site. And so it's pretty simple and straightforward. The main aspect of this email is the fact that it came out this morning and that it's relevant to their business. And so the more relevant these grants are for the companies that you're talking to, the easier it will be for you to actually get a click-through rate. Now, in addition to providing the grants, because this is a very specific site that you've created, you can show case studies, you can talk about experiments that you've ran related to this, and just kind of put lots of different content out there, different regulations, what companies are doing. And what this does is it helps provide value to the company. So the way to think of this is it's kind of like installing a playground at a restaurant. The food and the playground are very different products and services, but one drives the other. And so what you're trying to do is create value for your prospects through content, and rather than just coming up with random articles, if you can come up with something that talks about recent grants and recent changes and tax credits and things of that nature, you can drive a lot of traffic to your site. And ultimately, a lot of that traffic will spill over into the sales funnel. And that's what we want to talk about next. Is it's important that you add some type of tracking mechanisms to your sites. This is where it's a good investment to make. There's lots of different services, and Ensemble offers one here. You can see it. So if they're browsing your site and looking at specific articles such as pricing or case studies, it kind of gives you the direction to know who to follow up with, but also what to follow up with them about. And so you can add these tracking pixels. Another good company that does this is Lead Forensics. But in any case, this is a great investment to make for your business. So just to summarize, what we're doing is we're using the fact that grants are coming out on a regular basis, which creates a great element for higher conversion rates in cold email campaigns. We need to recycle the content so that it shows up on our site, but also provide enough content with your site so that they don't just hit the article and then leave your site. You need to be able to keep them on your site, provide enough content to kind of do that, and hopefully they'll subscribe to future content and help them understand the value that you provide. And then as they're on your site, if they are browsing different pages, it'll give you the insight, if you're using different tracking mechanisms, to figure out what the next steps are for these companies. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. In 2 weeks, we'll be talking about email automation strategies, which different types of software that you can use to help automate different email campaigns without a lot of work on your end, and avoid having to hire people to manage those campaigns. So with that, thanks again for everyone for joining us today. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon.